All right, friends. Today's lesson 7, is water around the world. We're working on that. Today, we are going to be doing a read aloud, and we're going to talk about the gist and what surprised you and the main idea. Because today, our learning targets are I can determine the main idea and supporting details of pages 20 to 21 of One Well. Is that familiar? Yeah. We've been working on that main idea and supporting details. We did it several times while we were listening, just listening to the piece. And then yesterday, I gave you the book so you could read along. And then we determined main idea and supporting details, and we used our triads. Today, we're using our pairs. And I can explain the function of verbs, what verbs do. Who remembers what a verb is? Who remembers what a verb is? Jenna? Yeah, it's a word that shows what you do. So here's our parts of speech, right? And our parts of speech say that a verb is a word that describes an action or a state of being. It does not want to say it. Okay, action or state of being. So when you said it's a word that shows what you're doing, that's correct. So we're going to talk about those today. In fact, we're going to do a little bit of we're doing a little language dive with a sentence. And we're going to talk about basically main ideas and details. Okay, so I'm going to pass out the book. And I'd like for you and your partner to find pages 20 and 21 for me. All right. So, nope, not in your workbook. In the One Well book. She'll be back. I haven't actually seen anything. I've stolen it from. If I have an extra, I might give you guys. Yes.
No, I don't. Stop bothering me. Everyone's telling me I need to sit down over and over.
These are
Out of the way of so just keep bothering me. Stop it, Devin.
Well, if you guys are having a nice time getting along. Okay, page 20 and 21. So, Tim, we're just be a triad for now. All right. So we are looking at page 20 and 21. I'm going to read aloud while you read silently in your head with your eyes as I'm reading. So think about yesterday, all the things we've been learning, and how this relates to what we've learned the rest of this week, right? So it's called access to the well. Some families are lucky. They turn on the tap for drinking water to fill a bathtub, wash their car, or water the garden. But other families around the world are less fortunate. 1 billion people, almost 16% of the Earth's population, have to walk more than 15 minutes to get to the nearest water supply. There they gather water for the day. Just a few jugs, barely enough for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Other families don't have access to enough water to meet even these most basic needs. While the amount of water on Earth is always the same, the distribution of water across the world isn't. Huge differences in rainfall can happen from country to country and even within the same country. Less rainfall means less water available in lakes, rivers, and aquifers. Sometimes there just isn't enough water where it's needed most. Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, nearly 1/5 of the water's population does not have access to enough water. Many of these people live in Africa and Asia. So in the bottom right-hand corner there, a bucket of water weighs about 10 kilograms or 22 pounds. Imagine if you had to carry a bucket or two from a well to your house every day. Top of page 21. North America has 1/3 the population of Africa. Yet, North Americans use 3 times as much water. How is this possible? Nearly 300 million people in Africa do not have access to enough fresh water. And in that middle, there's an infographic there. Place. This is North America, Russia. We're not talking right now. You can have that opportunity. Right now, we're just reading. North America, Russia, Poland, India, Nepal, Haiti, and Ethiopia are on that left-hand side. If you look at each of those pictures stands for what? One bucket. That one bucket equals 10 liters or 2.6 of our gallons, right? US gallons. So, North America, daily use per person. 55 buckets for North America. 27.5 buckets for Russia. 14 buckets for Poland. 7 buckets for India. 3 buckets for Nepal. 1.5 buckets for a person in Haiti. And 1 bucket per person in Ethiopia. China and India are home to over 1/3 of the world's population, yet they only have access to 1/10 of the world's fresh water. Okay, just for a moment, turn and talk to your partner and talk about what do you think is the gist of these pages? What's mostly about? And what are you surprised to find in these pages?
We live in What else? What for you? So I think North America
One. Wrapping up your ideas. All right. So, what do you guys think the gist of this is? Really?
I think the gist of it is that they're showing it that they have to go down there and maybe get either 1 bucket or 2 buckets or how many other buckets they need. They need to carry it back home, and on the second page it shows how much we have and how much they have. So it's showing how they really haven't had to do anything. Really, I don't agree because it said that on the second page it actually said that they have to carry this much buckets and what we think it is. What we think the gist is that some people can get more fresh water than others.
I know this is sort of like a fact. You know how like everybody in Africa doesn't have that much access to water. Their economy failed like a bunch of times, so they have like.
So Silas, we're sticking to the text, so don't bring any other schema in, okay? for now?
I agree with Nevin how it's like how people are more fortunate, how much water people have, the separation of urban comparison of how much we have compared to Russia. Yeah, whatever. Somewhere. I don't know.
I sort of disagree with Amy, because I think they're trying to tell us that North America uses the most water, and for the other people, they have just one bucket or like 3 buckets to take a shower, make dinner, and like, what was it?
All those things that we talked about.
Well,
yeah.
remember, they live in like a really deserty country, and that's sort of true. Yeah. But at the same time,
false.
there's a lot. Well, yeah, it's like half and half. Yeah, it's hard to get water there because it's such a deserty country.
Okay, so is that something that they mentioned here? Is that something, or is that something you just know from before? So that's true. I mean, it's good to use our schema when we're reading, so you put it in perspective, right? But so for now, we're focusing on what's the gist. And so Ms. Aspen, what did you want to add there?
I think the gist is how much water we use compared to the other countries, and that they just learn to deal with it, and they just learn how that they can use that water in a good way. And we kind of waste our water a lot.
I agree with
I
Aspen.
partly disagree.
Okay, so is it okay to have some different ideas about this?
Yeah.
It definitely has sparks of discussion. That's great. What surprised you? What you and your partner talked about? What surprised you? Perhaps Zoe, you want to start us out?
That like we use way more water than the other like so
Okay, that surprised you. Timber, what else?
What surprised me was when I looked at North America, and I looked at all the other, like Russia, and all these other countries, states, they had like less water than us. And I'm just thinking, how would we use our water and to use that, not to waste it,
to help
help them, or like, we have more water, we want to use it wisely. They try to use their water wisely, and we want to kind of be like them. We don't want to waste our water.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised about that. We have way more
and
water than.
We have way more because the area we are at, it's more like it's not exactly like
So there were some.
India because they're kind of warm there. We're like warm over here.
So which paragraph? Which paragraph talks about that, Silas? Silas, which paragraph talked about that? On page 2021. It did. There is a paragraph that talked about that.
While we were discussing, we finished discussing, so I tried to see how much liters all of this was. It was 505 liters.
Liters.
And wait, is that our
So again, can anybody find that paragraph? Refer to the text. Find that paragraph that talks about exactly what Silas was saying. Step back. Thank you. Trevor, I don't want to move you. Okay, Nevin, which paragraph talks about distribution?
The paragraphs, like, still on the page. Page 20,
It is on page 20.
and
It's actually in the paragraphs, guys. Look right there. Find it. Where does it say?
paragraph.
Second paragraph. It says, while the amount of water on Earth is always the same, the distribution, which is what you were talking about, Silas, the distribution of water across the world isn't the same. Huge differences in rainfall can happen from country to country and even within the same country. Less rainfall means less water available in lakes, rivers, and aquifers. Sometimes there just isn't enough water where it's needed, most. So that's what you were trying to talk about the.
we have like a lot of water underground, but we don't get that much rain. But we do have a lot of lakes, but they aren't man-made like in Oklahoma.
I agree with
Okay.
that though.
So we're
That's
gonna,
why we have
you guys
to
are having a
wells.
great discussion. This is great, but we need to move on.
Oh,
Okay, because this comes to well, you guys are gonna use these ideas when we're doing the main idea and the details, right? We're gonna get to that part because you guys are coming up with great things to back up your work. All right, so before we go on there, so just with talk to your partner for just another minute. What do you, if you had to give the main idea in one sentence, right? If you're gonna give what the author wants you to take away from this in that one sentence, what is the main idea of both of these pages? Go. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. When I see discussion starting to wrap up and people talking about other things. So, all right. So I'm going to take real quickly you and your partner. And Zoe, what was the main idea?
People use less than
Okay. Can someone else add on to hers? Devin?
I can add on to it, because
Okay. Timber, what do you think the main idea is?
I think the main idea is like how much water the world has and how much like states the water has compared to Russia and North America.
Okay. Aspen?
I think that the main idea is that we use way more water than most other countries.
Okay. All right. So, what is the title of these pages? What was the title of these pages? What was the title? Sabina?
Ocean.
No. No. I know it's in cursive. That's why we teach you these things. It's hard to do access to the well. And are they talking about one well? They're talking to about our idea of the world well, right? Access. So what does access mean? What is the, I'm downstairs. I don't know actually why they're here. There. What does the word access mean? Hey, Silas? Silas, listen, we're done with our partner discussions. What does access mean? Access to the well. Jonah, what do you think?
If you're like in a car at home getting ready to leave, it's basically like you're walking to it and when
It is somewhat. Haley, access to the well.
like when you can like get to something.
You like read my definition here. Able to get something. The access you have, some people have more accessibility to get, in this case, water, than others. So we're not doing that right now, sweetie? Nope. In fact, that was supposed to be turned in this morning. Okay, all right. And the other word that we were talking about was distribute. Distribute. And it talks about the distribution of water across the world isn't equal. So what does distribute mean? Distribute. Ben?
Passing out whatever to everybody who needs it.
Okay. And so that's close to my definition, to share or spread across an area. So if I am distributing snack, right, I'm handing it out to throughout our classroom, right? Distribute water. Do humans, can humans distribute water? Yeah, we can go to the grocery store, right? Buy some water and take it home. We're distributing some water. But is that the only way that we get our water? What other ways do we get our water? Turn it on the tap and out it comes, right? The faucet, distribute that water. All right, so today we're going to talk about a little bit about verbs real quick. We're going to take this one sentence that we read today. So Cassius, I'm going to have to move you if you can't stop talking. Thank you. All right, so here is our sentence. Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, nearly 1/5 of the world's population does not have access to enough water. Did that come from today's reading? Yes, it did.
Yesterday.
Okay, because water, so we have a phrase there, don't we? An interesting phrase that it skipped. Why did it skip right to there?
That one.
Okay.
No, I think I see it.
Well,
that one in the 10. Number 10.
Number 10 is our first one. All right, because water. So why did the author decide to start our sentence off like that, do you think? Because water.
Beautiful.
Nevin?
It's like, with this.
Go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe.
Because it, like, water is, like, at,
Really, you want to add to his answer?
I think it says because it's talking about, maybe say because water does not, it may be say because water, it'll say something that connects to it.
Okay, so it's intending to connect to something else. Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe. What is our verb in that section? What is our verb? I'm looking for more hands than that. Verb. We just talked about at the very beginning what a verb is. Verb. Miss Vina, what's a verb?
A word that describes an action or a state of being.
So in this section, where is our verb then?
Oh, I know.
What's being done? Nevin?
Distributed.
What'd you think, Miss Greeley?
I thought distributed.
It is distributed. It is, and it's actually, so the not is actually part of it too, is not distributed, is actually our verb. The not is telling us that it's
Hey, you can
not part of that, but it is not evenly distributed across the globe. Now, evenly is helping us, it's telling us how it's distributed, right? So that is our adverb that we kind of talked about the other day. So how is it not distributed? It's not evenly distributed. Where is it not evenly distributed? Across the globe. Okay, so the whole world, right? That means the whole world. Nearly 1/5 of the world's population does not have access to enough water. How much does not have access? Jenna? No, actually it tells us what fraction.
1/5.
1/5. Now we know fractions. So of all the people in the world, 1/5 do not have access to enough water. Now, I know I heard a lot of you say enough. What kind of word is enough?
Enough
Like
is
really?
enough is like
What part of speech is enough? Enough water. No, pronoun takes place of another one. Enough. We could say does not have access to water. What would that be correct? Does not have access. They have access. They don't have enough access. That changes the idea. So, Jill, what kind of word do you think that is? Not quite an adverb, but you're close. Kaylee? Adjective. How much water? Enough water. They have access to some, but not enough. All right. So today, so distributed is not distributed is our verb that we're looking for today. All right. So we are going to take some time with your pair there, your partner. We're gonna determine the main idea of pages 20 and 21. So you'll notice that page 20 has its own little section. Page 21 has its own little section because it has a different main idea. Some of you were very focused on the idea of page 21 about that infographic you saw. Some of you were very interested in page 20, which had more of the introduction to the idea. And so you're going to write your main idea and then the details you find that support it. So let's think about what it is that we're going to need to do, close reading, be able to figure out what those details are, right? So going through the text, this up over here. Okay, close readers, taking small chunks of text slowly and thinking and talking about them. That's what you're going to do with your partner. You're going to read a little bit, talk a little bit, decide if you need to write it in there a little bit. Using strategies to figure out any words you're not sure about. Going back to the text, right? To find those details that are going to help you a lot. Okay, so you are going to work on page 21 with your partner for about 10, 12 minutes. All right, go ahead and begin.
Okay.